thank you for joining me. I'm going to break down the Asian style hair pattern, and it doesn't mean that this is only for Asian clients. It just means that a predominant portion of the tail, the hair is flowing in a downward motion and not in an up and outward hair flow. So if someone, any person, has hair that grows predominantly down on the tail, this is more of the pattern that you would want to give them for the most natural flow. All right, so we will begin by building out the spine, and this is where the spine will need to be for someone that has more of a downward tail. As you can see, for the arch and all the way down to the tip, there's going to be a different hair pattern, hair flow here than from this area here. This spine divides the areas, so you know that behind this spine line there is a different flow than in the front. So we'll get more into that in just a little bit. So I'll begin by building out the spine, the strokes on the spine. And even though this stroke here is slightly below the perimeter line, it is okay. It is, most of this will fade out. You can always go up to a millimeter to up to 2 millimeters outside of the perimeter of the brow, but it will just look nice and soft. All right, so I will continue. Whoops, went a little fast. Okay, so I'm just building off the spine, branching down onto the perimeter, and then from there I'm going to start at the head of the brow. So let me do that again. Okay. So now we have the first portion of the brow, zone 1 is what I call this. And now I'm going to build in zone 2, which is everything behind the spine. Okay, so that'll be the first portion. And then we'll build down towards the tip of the tail. Okay, so I'll do that one more time. And you're going to leave spaces in between to allow for building. Okay. There. Okay, so now we're going to go in and fill in between. This would be the skeleton for the Asian eyebrow. So now if you wanted to build in more, you could do that at this time. But if you wanted to do your first pass, if you wanted to do your first pass with just this and really securing the perimeter, this is what you would build. Then after you've done your first pass, you would wipe, and then you would go on and add your body strokes and then any additional accent strokes. Or you could go on and do that now. It just depends on you and your comfort level with pre-drawing your hair strokes. All right, so now I'm going to go on and fill in, go to the second step, level 2, and now I'm building, starting at the tail, and we're building forward. Okay, so we're starting there. We're branching off of the strokes. Okay, so we've added strokes all in throughout the tail. I'm going to add in one more right in here, and then we're going to start branching off of the zone 1 strokes. Okay, so I'll show you that again. We're going to start here at the corners of each section, and then we will build and branch into the stroke in front of it. Okay, so you start here, and you're going to branch there. Okay, and then we're going to do one more time, forward there. Let me just slow that down a little bit. Right there. Okay, then we're going to fill in between there, and then go more to the head area. Okay, make a stroke there, and then a stroke there, and a branching stroke there, just also filling in that space there. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in and just add any strokes that I want to add. The head strokes are always, you know, you have to be flexible. Some people like it when it branches out like this and looks more natural here, and then other people may want it to just be more rounded, more oval, you know. Some people want it to be really bushy, very wispy. Other people don't want that. So you do have to be cautious, you know, and even monitor what the person's hair might be doing and try to mimic that as closely as possible. I like a nice fluffed out brow just in general. Okay, so then I'm going to go in and add a little bit more in any of the gaps. So all in between each of these, here, 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 and here. Building off of the corners. Okay. And then adding a little bit more on the tail. Just adding a little bit more fullness. Okay. So this is about the stopping point of that. Now the last thing I'm going to do just to add some additional dimension is I'm going to go in with a darker color. So if this is where, if you wanted to add a darker pigment, you could do so, and it would actually make the brow look more dimensional. It would add more shadow, like a shadow, light and dark to the brow, where it looks a lot more natural. So I'm going to, along the spine and branching off of the spine, I'm going to be adding a little bit more depth with pigment, and you'll see what that does and how that begins to pop out the area even more just by adding in a darker color. This will also help you to work faster, so you don't have to go over the same area, you know, time and time again. If you add more depth in your pigment tone, then you can get done with your brow quicker and build the dimension in the brow that you're trying to add. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm softening. I did that. Now I'm softening the edges on all of the strokes, and so I would do more of like a whip shading on the end of the strokes, just so that the very tips could look nice and soft, as you can see. Instead of it just looking like a thicker stroke, I want it to look nice and soft on the edges. So I'm adding a little bit of that at the end of all of the strokes. You can see nice little pixels are popping up. See right in here, and now at the front in here, here. Okay, and it just adds softness to the brow. And then let's just see the brow without anything. And there we have it. That's the finished look, okay? And then if you want to see the other eyebrow next to it, this is what both the eyebrows look like together. Okay, and then if I were building both of them together, you'll see. I'll speed it up so you can just kind of see how it all flows together. So these are all the same steps you've already seen, but just sped up a little bit more, and you can just see how it all plays together. Adding the softness at the very end of the strokes really does make a huge impact as well. All right, now on to the second brow. And I'm just adding that additional dimension on the brow, adding that depth. It really does add more life to it. And then I added the softness at the end of all the strokes, like here and here and here. I hope this was helpful. I love this technique, and I hope you find it very helpful. I look forward to seeing your eyebrows with this style. Thank you.